Hey everybody, Bandicoot Commando here, and welcome back to Marvel Rivals. Last time, I read Angela's lore story, where basically, her sister's keeper, where basically Angela was separated. When the time stream entanglement happened, she was whisked away, along with her realm of heaven. She was whisked away to another universe where it was in the war. It was basically the one where Scarlet Witch is from. It's on the verge of collapse. Gods, demons, and all sorts of creatures are at war with one another. But with the help of magic, Angela is able to return to her universe, and she scoured all of the realms to find her sister Lousa. It isn't until that when she got to the world of the Dark Elves, Malekith more or less advised that she should try asking Hela. So she goes to Niflheim, and while she doesn't find Hela, she does find some undead warriors. One of them in particular knows who Angela seeks, and tells her to go to Kunlun to find Lousa. Turns out that this person was the previous Iron Fist, Danny Rad. Angela reaches the gates of Kunlun and has an encounter with Lin Lai, and it pretty much ends there with her ready to start a fight with him. But she at least knows where her sister is. So today, we're gonna read another lore story. Obviously, Iron Fist. So, I believe last time when I did his first lore story, I did not have any of his outfits available. So, the martial arts savant, Lin Lai has become the youngest master of martial arts our city has seen, with outstanding skills and extraordinary talent. Even bigger challenges now await him. Then we have the Phoenix. There's a legend in Kunlun. Hundreds of years ago, a red-haired girl passed Shullau's trial and used the dragon's power to tame the celestial bird of fire before vanishing without a trace. Now, that same immortal fire blazes within my fist. And then here, the immortal weapon of Agamotto. This mess we're in today, the one you created by stealing this eye from its rightful owner. So, I'm going to ask you again, Stephen, whose is this really? Alright, here it is. Crossing the Sea of Stars. What in the name of the seven cities do you think you're doing, Shao Lin Lai shouted as he stormed into the dragon's sanctuary. Protecting Kunlun, the ancient creature replied, just as I always have. In case you forgot, that's my job, Lin snarled, his fist glowing intensely as he approached the immortal beast who had granted him such his mystical abilities. For now, Shou replied, extending his long neck so that he was face to face with his chosen one. We shall see how long that remains true. Is that a threat? Lin demanded, not flinching as the dragon's hot breath washed over him. It is a fact, Shou calmly responded. Well, here's another fact, Lin said defiantly. You picked me to be your Iron Fist. Are you really going to let someone strip that away from me? Just because a madman in a metal mask decided he wanted even more power? There are rules, Lin Lai, Shou responded solemnly. Rules that were not followed when I anointed you my champion. I believed, in my hubris, that none would ever dare to question me. I was wrong. Lin wanted to scream. He knew deep down that his master wasn't lying. There was a time, not long ago, when Lin went by another name, Swordmaster. Then, he wielded the ancient sword of Fushi to battle his foes. At least, a powerful Kumio struck him down and left him for dead. When Lin's body washed up on the shores of Kunlun, it was Sholau who found him. The undying dragon saw great potential in the fallen warrior and used his own chi to revive Lin. Infused with Sholau's essence, Lin rose once more to become the 67th Iron Fist, the immortal weapon of Kunlun. But as Sholau said, there were strict rules that were laid out centuries ago in the Book of the Iron Fist, which detailed the grueling challenges that a mortal must conquer in order to earn the title of Iron Fist. The Shenlong Trial was a series of tests that culminated with a direct battle between Sholau and his prospective champion. The power of the Iron Fist would be bestowed upon them only when they claimed victory by plunging their fist into the dragon's heart. Since the dawn of Kunlun, Sholau's chi had been a gift that was taken, not given, until Lin, and now another mortal had declared his intent to take that gift for himself. Victor Von Doom, the monarch of Latveria, and one of the men behind the chronal disruptions that had turned the multiverse upside down, had set his sights on Kunlun in hopes of gathering Sholau's chi infused with Chronovium. But when Doom realized that Sholau had fallen into a deep slumber, he changed his course. Now determined to cut the sleeping dragon's heart out of its chest and seize the true source of Sholau's chi for himself. By the time Doom arrived at Sholau's palace, however, the immortal beast had already been awakened by Iron Fist and his allies. Doom momentarily considered attempting to slay the dragon anyway, but he knew that a battle against both Sholau and an army of heroes might not end in his favor. Still, a master strategist on Doom's level was never without a contingency plan. Doom had long heard rumors that Lin's claim to the title of Iron Fist was tenuous at best, never one to forfeit an opportunity to seize great power. Doom immediately tried to use that secret knowledge to his advantage. Doom revealed the truth of the current Iron Fist's dubious ascension, leaving Lin humiliated and the assembled heroes stunned. Then, Doom challenged Sholau to combat, hoping to initiate a Shenlong trial that would ultimately result in his own appointment as the one true Iron Fist. Doom boasted that he would gladly thrust his armored fist into the hearts of 1,000,000 dragons if it were meant to be able to harness the near unlimited might of Sholau's chi. However, there were other rules in the Book of the Iron Fist, rarely invoked rules that date back thousands of years, which even Victor Von Doom was unaware of. As ancient tradition decreed, if the legitimacy of an immortal weapon was challenged during the rare occasion when the 7 capital cities of heaven, like now, had converged to form the heart of heaven, then a representative from each city would be offered the chance to participate in the immortal beast's trial. Doom was unaware of this rule because it had almost never been invoked, and with good reason, as no immortal beast has ever dared to risk sharing its chi with immortal weapons of other cities. But once this trial is initiated, it shall expand into a great tournament, where the winner would lay claim the champion's title and the power that came with it. Indeed, when you have defeated the other 7 immortal weapons of the capital cities, the glory you've taken from them is enough to earn you the gift of the immortal beast's chi. Shoulal's clever play had opened the door for a contest unlike any that Kunlun or its sister cities had ever seen before. Though Shoulal had wisely used this rare passage in ancient text as a loophole to delay Doom's inevitable attempt to claim his chi, neither the dragon nor his disciple was terribly thrilled with the path that now lied ahead. "So let me get this straight," Lin said, the glow of his fist beginning to fade as his rage started to give way to logic. "If I wanted to keep being Iron Fist, all I really have to do is win a battle between the immortal weapons, right?" "That is correct," Shoulal replied. "Well, that should be easy enough," Lin said confidently. "Most of the other immortal weapons haven't been seen since the 7 capital cities fused together. They probably got swept up in the time stream entanglement, or something. Even the Prince of Orphans has vanished again, which kind of sucks, because he was in the middle of training me, and he also left me to watch that Asgardian baby he found, who, I'll admit, is kind of growing on me, especially now that Angela and I are cool, and she's been taking point on babysitting. But still. Okay, so that means that yeah, they had a small scuffle, but now they're on good terms." "Your point, my child?" Shoulal asked impatiently. "Sorry," Lin said. "I guess what I'm trying to say is that if the other immortal weapons don't show, that means they can't fight. And so I win by default. If an immortal weapon is absent at the time of a sacred trial," Shoulal said, "then the beast who rules each city gains the right to choose a new warrior to represent them in battle." "Seriously?" Lin asked. Oh my, these people writing the lores, they really need to watch their writing. "Seriously?" Lin asked. "That seems kind of unfair. But even so, there's no way some rando living in the kingdom of spiders or on Tiger Island is skilled enough to take me down." "The warrior does not need to hail from the realm they are chosen to represent," Shoulal said. "As you may recall, many of my Iron Fist have been outsiders, including yourself. My fellow immortal beasts can select their new champion from anyone present in the heart of heaven." "Oh, you mean the place where all of the multiverse's greatest heroes happen to currently be hanging out?" Lin asked sarcastically. "Great. It seems you have quite the battle ahead, boy," Shoulal said. "I do," Lin responded. "But maybe it's not the one that everybody thinks. What scheme are you forming in that tiny mortal brain of yours?" Shoulal asked, raising a scaling eyebrow. "Well," Lin answered, "you said that all of this unfolded because you didn't follow the rules when you made me your Iron Fist, right? So, what if we did follow the rules, like, right now?" "You mean," Shoulal interjected, starting to see what his immortal weapon was thinking. "The Shenlong trial," Lin continued. "If I face it now, if I go through the paces and punch you in the heart, just like the 66 other Iron Fists before me, then Doom's challenge to my legitimacy no longer has any legs to stand on. I become the one true Iron Fist, no asterisk, and the tournament never needs to happen." "If only it were so easy," Shoulal responded with a sigh. I fear the die has already been cast. One challenge cannot simply be nullified by another. The moment Doom questioned your legitimacy, he became a competitor of equal standing to you. In order to prevent Doom from taking the title uncontested, the tournament had to be initiated. What is done cannot be undone. It must be seen through. We all know Doom is gonna cheat, Lin said, his frustration once again growing. He'll find a way to rig the tournament in his favor so he can take my power and yours. I am well aware of that mortal's reputation, Sholau said. But I am also aware of yours. What do you mean? Lin asked. Stubborn, impulsive, unyielding. Some people think I'm also talented and handsome. Since the moment I made you my weapon, my immortal weapon, Sholau continued, you have led with your fist first. Whether it glows or not, whether the fragments in your arm ache or not, why? Lin paused for a moment and considered his patron's words. I guess, he said, because I've been trying to prove myself. I have a hell of a legacy to live up to. Then earn it, Sholau said. Prove to all who stepped foot into the arena that you are my one true champion. Prove that a bruised ego will not be enough to knock you down for good. And prove that you were chosen to be my Iron Fist not by chance, but because you deserved the name and all the glory that comes with it. Prove that even though the sword of Fu Shi is shattered, you are still a worthy heir of Fu Shi. Do you really think I can do that? Lin said in a rare moment of self-doubt. It does not matter what I think, child, Sholau responded. All that matters now is what you think. And if I win, Lin said, his confidence growing, if I publicly mop the floor with these other immortal wannabes, then there's no more doubt, right? No one ever gets to question whether or not I'm the real Iron Fist ever again? Correct, Sholau said, a grin starting to spread across his wide mouth, showing the glistening fangs within. So, what do you say, my champion? Just this, Lin responded, holding up his glowing fist with pride. When do the games begin? Alright, that was lore 2. That was lore story number 2 for Iron Fist. Pretty interesting how they set things up with it. Honestly, with the way that they have it, it almost feels like a manga. Like something you'd read in like Dragon Ball or like... Yeah, something you probably read in Dragon Ball. It feels like a Dragon Ball story where it feels like your standard like shonen type of story. It's pretty neat. Well, that'll do for this episode of Marvel Rivals. Join me next time as we read Loki's lore story. He's got his new one. Got his second new one there. So, that is it. And I will see you guys next time.